Put your hands together for yourselves. All right. So, once again, welcome to PyCon 2024. And we're going to be talking about a very interesting framework called diversity and inclusion. Have you ever heard of that framework before? Diversity and inclusion. It's a framework in Python. You've never heard it before? Okay, so I'm going to introduce it to you. I'm just kidding. It's no framework. All right. So diversity and inclusion is an aspect of the Python community that it's not relatively new, but we are doing some behind the work scene, and it's important that we not only do behind the work scene, but we also share what we're doing. So like the name implies, diversity and inclusion. So we can include everybody and make sure that everybody is abreast of what is happening, and also kind of get feedback from everybody on what can be done to make it better. And the Python community is growing, and it can only get better when we're able to discuss our challenges, our breakthroughs, what can be done better, even ideas that come up as we continue to grow, as we continue to develop frameworks and things like that. So, beyond coding, I want to believe this might probably be the only non-coding thing that you would hear throughout this conference. I may be wrong, but I need us to realize that beyond just coding, there is also the other aspects of the community that should be catered to ensure that we have a beautiful community. So, before we go ahead, my name is Boluwaji Akinlade. I'm a business developer and a marketing communications personnel. Don't worry, it has something to do with Python in a way. Okay, and I'm a member of the diversity and inclusion team of the Python Software Foundation, and I also lead the Pi Ladies Nigeria, and I kind of do people and community development. I have a huge interest and love for people development, so I do a lot of that on the side. I've organized Django workshops before, and I also do design trainings from time to time. So, and I'm a creative, yes. So that's part of it. Okay, so that's it. You know a little bit about me. So what's the fun thing about me? Let me see. What's something fun about me? I'm a copycat, and I'm proud to say it. We should all be copycats. It's beautiful. All right. So what is the essence of the diversity and inclusion team? We all come from different walks of life, different environments, different communities, different, everything different. And it's not just in Nigeria, from all over the world. And to be able to work together as a community under one umbrella, which is the Python community, we need to be able to understand the differences and see how they can work together to make the community easy for us to, it's just like language barrier. If everybody is of one understanding, it's easy. But in the case where I may not necessarily, maybe for example, I go to the north and I want to introduce the Python community in the north, and the place I'm going to, they speak only Hausa. How can I communicate with them to be able to establish a community there and not impose necessarily the fact that if you don't know English, you're not welcome into the community? So I may know English, you may know Hausa. How can we work together? So that's one of the essence of diversity and inclusion team. So it is also set up because a diverse community where people treat each other with respect has more potential contributors and more sources for ideas. Python is still growing. We can't say we have grown. We're still growing. And people like us make up the community, contribute to the development of the framework, and we need more persons with beautiful ideas to come up with it. I mean, someone came up with Django, someone came up with why is this skipping my head right now? Okay. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. We have the different frameworks in Python and somebody came up with them. So yeah, why not? How can we come together with respect, share ideas, tear the ideas apart and build it back together to, make something that works for everybody. That's also one of the essence of the diversity and inclusion forum. Then, to support and facilitate the growth of a diverse and international community of Python users and developers. So we want to be able to help the growth of the Python community wherever we find ourselves. So how can we communicate with America? How can Africa partner with maybe Asia to, build something together, build a holistic community, being diverse set of people, but being able to come together to, create something that is of one language, of one understanding and one voice. And also, another thing we do is we would own this important work of building the diversity and inclusion team. And we also provide guidance to the Python Software Foundation Board of Directors. So when they have to make decisions about certain things, what we do is we research. We do research. How do we do research? We talk to people in the community. We take data where necessary. And we also get in touch with consultants who are experts in certain fields that we need to be able to provide proper direction for the community to grow. And when we do this, we relate it to the board of directors, and the board of directors are able to, adopt it, and it becomes a standard in the community. So it's not just that some people came together and, we just say, okay, this is what we want, and this is how it should be. No, we are thinking of everybody in mind, and that's why this team is set up. So how do we do it? First, we recruit people from all over the world. So on the team, we have people from about 6-7 continents currently. We're still growing, but currently we have people from 7 continents, if I'm correct, 7 continents who are working on this team to make sure that we get things done. And yeah, then we also discuss policies, initiatives, proposals, and recommend them to the board of directors in line with the group's purpose. So for example, if we have a policy that we need to introduce into the community that would help to build the community and make the community better, we work on it, we get our findings, our research. If somebody brings up maybe a complaint, we go through the root cause analysis, what exactly happened, how can we make it better, what do we need to do, and then address these matters and come up with policies that help to guide, things like that, from maybe preventing it from happening, or making sure that we introduce certain things into the community to help make the community better. Also, if you have initiatives, maybe for example, you want to start up a community in your maybe state or a country, we help to see, okay, what's going on, what needs to be done, how can we get it done, how can we help it become better, and we take it up from there and also make recommendations. And we also discuss proposals, grants rather. For example, how do we work on grants that would make this kind of conference available and accessible to every person who are interested in attending this conference. All these things are still a work in progress, and we're hoping that we become better at doing all these things. So yes, we also do monitoring and evaluation. So possibly one of the things we'll do is, for finishing PyCon Nigeria, what are the key takeaways? What do we need to do? What was turnout like? How can we become better? What were the loopholes? What were the setbacks? How do we make sure that it becomes better by the next year when we'll be organizing another thing like this? What are our core values? Inclusion, empathy, respect, integrity, equity, and belonging. Basically, we mirror whatever the Python Software Foundation does. So whatever we do, the heart of everything that we do, rather, is PSF. So if it's not PSF, then it's not D&I in PSF. So yeah, we are literally a stem of PSF, okay? Yes, so decision-making procedures. How do we make decisions and come to decide on what we're going to do or not do? The work group solicits feedback on proposed drafts. So you can send in a proposal, you can send in a complaint, you can send in a challenge, and then we consider outside inputs. We document them. Like I said before, we do our research. We make sure that we're not just doing it based off of feelings, but what exactly is on ground. So if we remember when David was giving his speech and Aisha made mention of, the challenges that were experienced about, getting this done. Things like this are what we look into, and then we do our research. Yes, it may be easy to obtain grants and, financial aid in the US, but bring it to Nigeria. Nigeria is not so easily accessible or acceptable of many things. So how can we make our community work together with the community in, for say, the US, for example? How can we work together? How can we make sure that, okay, what is obtainable here can also be obtainable in the US, and it is not infringing on anybody's rights or access to basic things in the Python Software Foundation. And from there, we move on to voting for maybe new standards, or maybe the proposal being accepted into. So when the proposal rather is accepted, it becomes a standard in the community. And doing this would require 2/3 of the voting members of the D&I team members. So 2/3 of us have to agree that we're accepting this based off of research conclusions. So how do we get members? The first set of members are persons who have either led communities in various countries, or they have been members of the board long before now. So right now, we're definitely going to add more persons, but right now I don't think we are getting persons on board yet, because so far nobody has stepped down. Nobody has said they're no longer interested. But how do we do it? When we select persons, they confirm that they are going to be part of it. So what happens is they are going to be on the team for each cycle of elected board of directors. So, for example, elections are going on now. What happens is we are interim team members. So during the election period, what happens is we reaffirm or reconfirm that we are staying on the team. If for any reason that you cannot continue, then you indicate that you'd like to step down, or you would like to not continue with what we're doing. And then what happens is we now go to the pool of persons who have indicated interest, and then we start doing our recruitment process from there. So yeah, we're a very flexible group, as much as we're a tight group. So what do I mean? As much as we are open to receiving people on board, but we don't just accept people because of the sensitivity of what we do. Diversity and inclusion work group is a sensitive part of the Python Software Foundation, and we do not take it for granted. We hold it in high esteem. Why? Because we are looking at the interests of every member of the community, and we want to make sure that everybody is included, everybody is heard, everybody is, valued and cherished in every of the impact that they're making, whether loudly or silently. Okay, and when we decide that we want to bring somebody on board, again, the team members vote, and 2/3 yes, then yes, the person comes on board. So like I said earlier, we have reps in Africa, we have reps in Asia, we have reps in the Middle Belt, we have in Europe, we have in Latin America, we have in North America, and we have in Oceania. Right now, we have our board member is the head of our team is Marlene Mangami. She's in Africa, yes. But currently, I don't think she's currently in Africa, though she relocated. But yeah, she's from Africa. She recently moved, maybe about a month or two ago, if I'm correct. She recently moved, but yeah, she's still under Africa, though. Yeah. But yes, we have Lorena Mesa, we have Dustin Ingram, and we have Anna Osolski. Yes, I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry, Anna. All right, so those are our board members, and The rest of us fall under, the different areas. I do not have the list. Well, I didn't put the list of everybody's name, but you can always reach out to us whenever. So each of these continents have representatives. So even if your country is not represented, what we do is you can reach out to, we have an email. So you can lay your complaints, you can lay your contributions, you can share your ideas with us, and we would all discuss it in the team. We have regular time of meeting, and because of the diversity in time or the differences in time, we usually have if for instance we have a meeting this month, we can have like 2 meetings because we have to consider the time differences in differences. Sometimes it may be in the morning of my time, it might be the evening some other time. So we have to consider everybody's time difference and what time works. So we usually take a vote to know what time works for everybody, and then the greater number of votes usually get the win. So yeah, that's it. We need your help. We're growing, and we will continue to grow. So how can you help us? You may not necessarily be on the work group team, but your ideas, your contributions, and your complaints can help us become better. So first things first, Python is growing as a whole. So champion a community where you are, especially if you do not have one. You don't have to go big. Start with 1 person and then move to 2 and move to 3, move to 4. But champion a community. Be a Python champion. Okay? Then spread the word about the Python community. Python is let's bring it to Nigeria. Data analysis is becoming a major thing in Nigeria, yeah? So I know that one major tool we use is Python. Definitely. So spread the word about it. It makes the work easy. Brings people on board. So imagine we have this community where we can teach people Python, we're looking at the next set of data analysts right here in this room who are going to champion courses in Nigeria. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, so spread the word about the Python community. You have friends who are in data analysis, share the word with them. We need them on board. You have persons who are developers, bring them on board, especially if they use Python. And not just Python, things that are, helpful to help grow the Python language and the community. Yes, you can talk to us as well. We have an email. If you have anything you'd like to discuss with us, you can send an email, and we promise you we read our emails. We do. And then, finally, this is like repetition. Be a Python contributor champion and a noisemaker. Make the noise. Be loud and proud about it. Okay? Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. I think I shared the email somewhere. Yes. Our email is diversity-inclusion@python.org. Diversity-inclusion@python.org. Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? I am open to sharing them. Questions, contributions. So far, day 1 and 2, I think I have 1 or 2 things that I'm going to share with the team as well. Take it back to them, and, we'll see how we can work on it. So, yeah. Okay, there's a question at the back. Okay, I'll just bring it, don't worry. I'll be happy to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Kelvin. Yeah, good talk, good talk. My question is around the complexity of diversity and inclusion. So recently we have a whole lot in LGBT community, and then it's a big deal in the West. Now, on this other path, we are not really much into that, okay? And then like Aisha was saying, so it's a different culture. Now, when these guys, for example, we're having PyCon conferences now, and then we have people within the LGBT community representing, and then they wanted to be treated in that sense. However, our laws doesn't like support that. How do you bridge that inclusion gap such that even when your law doesn't support some things, how do you like find your way around it? Do you just support and like, oh, we are in for LGBT community even when your laws doesn't support it? Yep.
Thank you very much. Um, so it's a bit tricky. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually very tricky, but currently I can assure you that there are ongoing discussions. It's not it's not a walk in the park. It's not just gonna happen at once. But like I said before, we're seeing or looking at how we can marry the differences such that two things are obtainable. It may not necessarily, for example, work in this part of the world, but we know that it is there. We're not going to deny that the LGBTQ community is not there. That's going to be a fallacy. We see you guys, we understand you, we we value your presence, we know that you are there. But there's also the aspect of what is the goal of the Python Software Foundation? What are we out to do? What are our core values, like I listed? And what is our charter? What's our work charter? What's the aim? What are we trying to drive at? And I mean, social constructs it's a lot. But I can promise you that discussions are currently ongoing and we don't know how long it's going to go. But yes, we're making progress. Research is... Hello, okay. Research is still ongoing. Contributions are very much welcome. We know that different countries have different, apart from even the LGBTQ community. I mean, there are places where it's not just easy penetration for things like, you want to build a community. What are the things that are obtainable? You can't just walk into a community, for example. You can't go to certain communities dressed the way I am. If you go there, you will not even be spoken to, not even talk of being heard. You will not be, the door won't be open for you. So it's not just the LGBTQ community. It is also, there's language barrier, there's culture barrier. There are many things, and these and many more are the things that we're hoping that we're able to come up with policies that work for the betterment and the growth, most importantly, of the Python Software Foundation. Thank you. Thank you all very much. I hope I have made sense.